We live in a world that glorifies success. We are told from a young age that achievement is the goal. Get the best grades, land the highest paying job, build the biggest business, acquire the most recognition. Success is painted as a destination, a place where all our struggles will finally make sense. But here's the problem. Success without purpose is empty. Think about it. How many stories have we heard of people who seemed to have everything? The wealth, the fame, the influence. Yet behind closed doors, they felt unfulfilled, lost, even broken. They climbed the ladder of success only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. That's because success, in and of itself, is not enough. It may satisfy for a moment, but it doesn't sustain. We often confuse external achievement with internal fulfillment. We assume that if we just reach a certain level, if we just get the next promotion, if we just buy the bigger house, happiness will follow. But it never does, not in a lasting way. The reason is simple. Success is a tool, not a destination. It was never meant to be the ultimate goal. It was meant to serve something greater. Purpose is what gives meaning to success. It's what turns achievement into impact, what transforms wealth into generosity, what shifts power into leadership. Purpose is what takes success and makes it worth something beyond ourselves. And without it, no amount of accomplishment will ever be enough. Think of a person who spends their entire life chasing accolades, only to reach the top and feel a deep void inside. It happens all the time. Athletes who win the championship and then wonder what's next. Entrepreneurs who sell their company for millions and feel directionless the next day. Celebrities who have the world's attention yet battle loneliness and depression. Because when success is all about self, it leads to emptiness. But when success is tied to something greater, it leads to fulfillment. Look at the greatest leaders, the ones who left a lasting impact. They didn't just chase success, they chased significance. They didn't just build careers, they built legacies. They understood that success without purpose is like a body without a soul. It may look impressive on the outside, but it's lifeless within. Purpose is not about how much you gain, but how much you give. It's not measured by titles or trophies, but by the lives you touch. The most fulfilled people in the world are not the ones who achieved the most, but the ones who served the most. So the question isn't just, are you successful? The question is your success serving a purpose beyond yourself? Because at the end of the day, success alone will never be enough. Faith is often misunderstood. Many believe that having faith means life will become easier, that challenges will disappear, and that the road ahead will always be smooth. But faith was never meant to make things comfortable. It was meant to make things clear. When we put our trust in something greater than ourselves, we are not given a life free of struggle. We are given direction in the midst of struggle. Faith does not eliminate obstacles. It gives us the strength to move through them. It does not promise a path without storms. It gives us an anchor in the storm. The purpose of faith is not to shield us from hardship, but to provide clarity when everything around us feels uncertain. Think about moments in life when you faced a tough decision. Maybe it was a career choice, a relationship, or a season of personal doubt. In those moments, comfort is tempting. It tells you to play it safe, to stay where things are familiar, to avoid risk. But clarity often calls you to step into the unknown. Faith gives you the vision to see past temporary discomfort and recognize the bigger picture. Consider a person standing at the edge of a cliff, about to take a leap. Comfort tells them to step back, to stay where it's safe, to avoid the possibility of failure. But faith gives them clarity to see that the leap is necessary, that growth only happens when we are willing to step beyond what we know. That the fear they feel is not a warning to stop, but a signal that something greater is ahead. History is full of examples of people who chose clarity over comfort. Every great leader, every world changer, every person who left a lasting impact, they were not led by ease, but by vision. They didn't chase what was comfortable, they pursued what was right. And often, that path was difficult. Look at those who have walked in faith. They were called into uncertainty, into battles they weren't sure they could win, into journeys where the destination wasn't always clear. They didn't take the easy road, they took the road that required trust. And because of that trust, they saw what others could not see. They had clarity when others had doubt. They moved forward when others stood still. Faith doesn't remove fear, it teaches us to move despite it. It doesn't take away pain, it gives us the strength to endure it. It doesn't eliminate uncertainty, it helps us navigate through it. Many people wait for life to be perfect before they take action. They wait for everything to make sense, for every detail to be worked out, for every risk to disappear. But that moment never comes. Because clarity isn't about having all the answers, it's about knowing the next step and having the courage to take it. Comfort will always tell you to wait, to hesitate, to choose what is easy over what is right. But faith whispers a different message. It tells you to trust, to move forward even when you don't have all the answers, to believe that the path will unfold as you walk it. The greatest breakthroughs in life don't happen in comfort zones. They happen in moments of clarity, when faith overrides fear, when purpose outweighs doubt, when we stop waiting for life to be easy and start embracing the journey as it is meant to be. In a world that constantly tells us to focus on personal gain, to chase success, and to put ourselves first, the idea of serving others can seem counterintuitive. We are told that fulfillment comes from achieving, acquiring, and winning, but true fulfillment doesn't come from how much we take, it comes from how much we give. Service over self is not just an act of kindness, it is a mindset, a way of living that transforms not only the lives of others, but also our own. It shifts our perspective from what can I get to what can I contribute. It moves us from a life of temporary satisfaction to one of lasting significance. Think about the people we admire most, not the ones who amassed the most wealth or held the most power, but the ones who left a legacy of impact, leaders who dedicated their lives to a cause greater than themselves, innovators who used their success to lift others up, mentors who invested their time in guiding those around them. Their greatness wasn't measured by their personal achievements, but by the difference they made in the lives of others. Service is not about losing yourself. It's about finding a deeper purpose. When we focus solely on ourselves, life becomes small. We are limited by our own desires, our own ambitions, our own needs. But when we serve others, our world expands. We begin to see beyond ourselves, to recognize struggles greater than our own, to understand that our purpose is not just to succeed, but to contribute. Many people chase success, thinking it will bring them happiness, but the happiest people are often those who dedicate their lives to serving. Studies have shown that acts of generosity and service lead to greater fulfillment, reduced stress, and a stronger sense of purpose. Because we were not designed to live only for ourselves. We were designed for connection, for community, for contribution. Service is not about waiting until we have enough to give, enough time, enough money, enough resources. It's about giving from where we are with what we have. It's about recognizing that small acts of service can create ripple effects far beyond what we can see. A word of encouragement, a moment of mentorship, a simple act of kindness. These things may seem small, but to the right person at the right time, they can be life-changing. The most effective leaders, the ones who inspire and uplift, are those who lead by serving. They don't seek power for their own benefit. They use it to empower others. They don't demand respect, they earn it through humility and selflessness. They understand that leadership is not about being at the top, but about lifting others up. Service also requires sacrifice. It means stepping out of our comfort zones, putting others' needs before our own, and sometimes making difficult choices for the sake of a greater good. But in that sacrifice, we gain something far greater than what we give. We gain connection. We gain purpose. We gain a sense of meaning that personal success alone can never provide. Imagine a world where people prioritized service over self, where leaders focused on serving their communities rather than their own interests, where businesses prioritized impact over profit, where individuals looked for ways to contribute rather than compete. That kind of world is not built by a few extraordinary people. It is built by everyday individuals making a choice to serve, to give, to put others before themselves. When we choose service over self, we stop measuring success by what we accumulate and start measuring it by what we contribute. We shift from chasing status to creating impact, and in doing so, we find something far greater than success. We find significance. Gratitude is often overlooked. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to want more, to chase after the next achievement, the next milestone, the next level of success. We are conditioned to believe that happiness exists somewhere in the future, tied to something we don't yet have. But the truth is, gratitude is the key that unlocks everything we are searching for. It is not just an emotion, it is a perspective, a way of seeing the world that changes how we experience life itself. Gratitude doesn't mean settling for less. It doesn't mean ignoring ambition or giving up on growth. It means recognizing the value of what we already have while striving for what's next. It means understanding that fulfillment doesn't come from constantly chasing something new, but from appreciating what's in front of us. When we learn to be grateful, we shift from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance. Instead of focusing on what's missing, we focus on what's present. Instead of complaining about what we lack, we celebrate what we've been given. And that shift is powerful. Gratitude opens doors because it changes how we show up in the world. Think about it. People are drawn to those who operate from a place of thankfulness. Leaders who express gratitude inspire loyalty. Employees who appreciate opportunities attract more opportunities. Entrepreneurs who are grateful for their customers build stronger businesses. Gratitude creates an energy that invites more of what we desire. But gratitude is not always easy. It's simple to be grateful when life is going well, when we get the promotion, when things fall into place, when success is evident. The real test of gratitude is when life is difficult. Can we be grateful in the struggle? Can we find something to appreciate in the middle of uncertainty? That's where gratitude becomes transformative. Life will always present challenges. There will be moments of frustration, setbacks, and failures, but gratitude allows us to see those moments differently. Instead of viewing obstacles as barriers, we start to see them as lessons. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, we begin to see what we can learn. And when we approach life with that mindset, new doors begin to open. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. In any personal or professional setting, appreciation is the foundation of connection. When we acknowledge the people in our lives, when we express thanks for their support, their efforts, their impact, we build stronger bonds. A simple thank you can change a conversation. A genuine appreciation for someone's presence can deepen a relationship. People want to be valued, and when we make gratitude a habit, we create environments where others feel seen and respected. Another way gratitude opens doors is by increasing resilience. Those who cultivate gratitude are better equipped to handle adversity. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we become more adaptable. We stop seeing challenges as permanent and start viewing them as temporary. We develop the ability to navigate setbacks without losing sight of the bigger picture. Gratitude reminds us that even in difficult times, there is something to hold on to, something to be thankful for. Gratitude is also the foundation of humility. It reminds us that we didn't get here alone. No matter how successful we become, there were people who supported us, guided us, and believed in us along the way. When we recognize that, we remain grounded. We lead with humility instead of arrogance. We make decisions based on appreciation rather than entitlement. And when we do that, we build trust, credibility, and respect. The most successful and fulfilled people in the world are not just those who have achieved the most, they are those who are grateful for the journey. They understand that gratitude is not just about looking back with appreciation, it's about looking forward with hope. It's about recognizing that every challenge is an opportunity, every failure is a lesson, and every day is a gift. Life is not a straight path. It is filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments that test our strength. There are times when everything feels uncertain, when the weight of challenges makes it tempting to give up. But in those moments, faith becomes the anchor that holds us steady. Endurance is not just about pushing through difficulty. It is about trusting that there is something greater ahead, even when we cannot see it. Faith does not remove hardship. It gives us the strength to endure it. It is easy to believe when life is going well, when doors are opening, when success is within reach, when everything seems to be falling into place. But the real test of faith is in the waiting, when progress is slow, when prayers seem unanswered, when the road ahead is unclear. That is when faith is most necessary. It is in those moments that we have to hold on, not because we have all the answers, but because we trust that the journey has a purpose. Endurance through faith is not passive, it is active. It is waking up each day and choosing to move forward, even when we feel like stopping. It is taking the next step even when the full path is hidden. It is believing that the struggle is not wasted, that every challenge is shaping us, refining us, preparing us for what is next. Look at the greatest stories of perseverance, the people who overcame impossible odds, the leaders who kept going despite failure, the visionaries who stayed committed to their purpose despite setbacks. What carried them through was not just talent or intelligence, it was faith, a belief that their efforts were not in vain. A trust that what they were building, working toward, or fighting for had meaning beyond the present struggle. Faith brings endurance because it shifts our focus. When we operate without faith, challenges feel like barriers. Every delay feels like a denial. Every struggle feels like proof that we are failing. But when faith is present, we see those same challenges as part of the process. We understand that setbacks are not the end, they are lessons. We begin to recognize that even in difficulty, something is being built within us: strength, wisdom, patience, perspective. Endurance through faith also keeps us from being controlled by fear. Fear thrives in uncertainty. It whispers doubts, plants insecurities, and convinces us that we are alone in our struggles. But faith counters fear. It reminds us that we are not walking this journey alone, that there is a greater purpose at work, that every hardship, every delay, every challenge is part of a story that is still unfolding. When we have faith, we stop measuring progress by immediate results. We understand that just because we don't see change doesn't mean change isn't happening. Just because we don't have the outcome we want right now doesn't mean the process is failing. Faith teaches us patience. It teaches us to trust in timing, to believe in growth even when it's not visible, to remain steady when everything around us is uncertain. Endurance through faith also requires surrender. It means letting go of the need to control every detail. It means understanding that we won't always have all the answers, and that's okay. It means trusting that even when things don't go according to our plans, they are still going according to a greater plan. Life will always have moments that test our endurance. There will be times when it feels like we've given everything we have, and yet the breakthrough hasn't come. But faith reminds us that our strength is not just in our ability to push forward, it is in our ability to trust, to believe that what we are going through is not the end of the story, to know that every step, every struggle, every season of waiting is leading to something greater.